and welcome to another segment of Motivational Mondays with Donna. I pray that everyone is doing well, and if you have any challenges, just remember to let go and let God. This week, I'd like to speak on the segment of the halfway point. Now, all of us go through halfway points in our lives. We actually go through it on a yearly basis. And that's pretty much what I want to be able to speak about right now. Right now, we've just entered into the month of July in the year 2022. And so half of the year has already gone by. And for some of us, we may be feeling we haven't accomplished the things that we wanted to accomplish. We've had a lot of challenges that have come our way. And so apparently this is not my year. So I'm just going to write it off and just wait until next year. No, that's not what you want to do. God is a God of miracles, and God works suddenly and instantaneously. When you think He's not working, He's working. And He can move things around and change things in your favor in an instant. It's like that old saying, what doesn't happen in 1,000 years happens in a day. So I'm actually going to give you some examples of how things have changed after the halfway point. And they're actually sports analogies. So for you ladies that may not follow sports, and for those of you few men that may not, just follow along. You'll get my gist of what I'm saying. The first one I want to use is a football analogy. Now, I am not a football person, but my husband's brother-in-law was, and this actually was his favorite team. And believe it or not, that was the first football game I ever watched, and it was incredible. If you've never watched a football game and people are trying to get you into it, this would be one of them you would want to rank high on your list. The excitement was incredible. It was the Buffalo Bills against the Houston Oilers, and this was back in 1993. Now, the Buffalo Bills were down by a 32-point deficit, and they literally just ran the field and charged and trampled the Oilers and pulled that game out and won it. It was incredible to watch the energy and the excitement and how they turned that loss that everybody thought was going to be a loss into a tremendous win. Now, there's a golfer by the name of Paul Lawrie who back in 1999 was trailing by a 10-stroke deficit and quickly turned that around. Now, 10 strokes is, towards the end of the game. It was in the final round. And he quickly turned that around and actually won. And that was an incredible win as a golfing person who enjoys golf. Now, the next one is my favorite sport, baseball. I was raised on baseball, absolutely love it. And this is a game that I actually saw. And it was pretty impressive, okay? It was the Cleveland Indians going against the Seattle Mariners. And everybody just knew for sure that Seattle had this game in the bag. I mean, they were winning 14-2. Cleveland came out of nowhere and erased a 12-run deficit and tied up that game and took it to extra innings. And in the bottom of the 11th, pulled out the win. Major League Baseball says that this is the third time in history that a team has had to dig out of a hole that big and actually won. It was exciting to watch. Now, obviously not for Mariners fans, but it was a pretty impressive game to be able to watch. This one is a little bit closer to home, and this one hurt. Trust me, it hurt. I never liked him, wanted to write him off at every given point that I could. But that's what happens when you're a fan. But of course, I was a New York Knicks fan and was not trying to hear about Reggie Miller. But Reggie Miller, greatness is greatness, and you have to be able to give him his due. He was a tremendous player. And so this was the Indiana Pacers that Reggie Miller was playing for that was going up against the Knicks back in 1995. And there was only 18.7 seconds left in the fourth quarter in the game. And the Knicks were winning. And Reggie Miller came out of nowhere and became Reggie Miller with 3-point shot bombs everywhere and tied the game. After tying the game, it got to the point where he was fouled, and he was fouled behind the 3-point line. So he had 3 free throws. He nailed all 3, and they beat the Knicks. Trust me, it was a heartbreaking night. But it just goes to show you that even if you're behind at the halfway point, stay diligent, stay fixed, keep your focus, keep moving forward. Because God is a God of miracles. The same way that at midnight, he caused that earthquake and the prison doors swung open and Paul and Silas were released. He can perform lots of miracles in your life. So don't think that because it's July, August, September, October. No, you don't know what God can do in an instant. So just keep moving forward. The halfway point is not the end. Now, we always end our segments on gratitude. And there was this American lawyer and politician who served in the public and private practice for some 50 years. And actually 20 of those years was in the United States Congress. And he was named Frank A. Clark. And he said, if a fellow isn't thankful for what he's got, he isn't likely to be thankful for what he's going to get. It's very important that you're thankful for every little thing, whether it's small or large, because the more grateful and thankful you are for the smaller things, you will have a boatload of larger things coming your way. So just remember, the halfway point is not the end, and remember, always have gratitude. Enjoy your 4th of July holiday weekend. Talk to you next week.